All right, here we go. The first podcast episode has now begun. So, Jacob, do you have an introduction to do?
No.
All right, man. So, season's getting ready to get underway. What do you want to talk about first, fam?
Let's do playoff predictions.
All right, all right. So I guess we got. I mean, it's mine are pretty clear. I did my video on them before. I guess I will focus on the controversial ones. I think the Pacers are making it.
Give me yeah.
I don't understand how that's a hot take somehow, but it seems like it is. Most people do not seem to agree with me that the Pacers are making it over either the Wizards or the Hawks. One of them's not
I
making it.
mean the I mean the Oladipo situation is kind of bad in the locker room, I would
It's
guess.
not great. I'm not gonna lie. However, it's I feel like if he wanted to leave, I think he would have just left by now, you know?
I mean his value is probably terrible. So
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't he have just like demanded a trade publicly? I mean, he was an all-star 2 years ago. It's not that bad. Better to get something for him, you
yeah,
know? Trade him for Gordon Hayward if they're trying to get rid of him that much.
like I thought Hayward was going to the Pacers at first, but
Yeah, it seems like from what I've heard, what I've seen is that the Celtics were asking for too much. So they didn't want just
yeah,
Miles Turner, they
I
wanted
think they wanted
more.
Turner and like TJ Warren.
Yeah, that's what I
So
saw, which seems so dumb to me. Like just take Miles Turner. That's a great deal in my opinion for the
so
Celtics.
now they didn't improve this offseason. I don't think. I mean they got Tristan Thompson, but
Tristan Thompson.
they didn't really add anything else.
Yeah, they didn't get much better. Kemba Walker's hurt at the start. I'm thinking they're probably going to be something like the fourth seed, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, they got Jeff Teague,
I mean,
but
he's nice, but he's really old.
yeah. Okay, give me 1 through 8 in the East.
All right, so 1 through 8. Let me see if I remember the exact order I said. I think my 1 through 8, starting at number one, would probably be the Bucks, the Heat,
All right.
Celtics, Sixers, and
Well,
then
so
probably
you think the Heat are going to be the 2 seed?
yeah, that's what I'm predicting.
All right.
I'm thinking they're going to be real nice this year. And then 5 through 8, I would probably say Raptors at 5, Pacers 6, Nets 7, and the Hawks as the eighth seed.
Wait, who is 7?
I would say that the Nets are going to be number 7 in my opinion.
The Nets.
Yeah, I could definitely see them being 6 instead of the Pacers. They're pretty much interchangeable for me, but I just think that their chemistry is just going to be absolute doo doo this year, and it's going to be a real rough start for them.
They're looking pretty. They're looking pretty nice right now. I'm watching their game against the Wizards right now.
Oh, for real? I'm watching the
Shamit
Lakers Clippers later.
Shamit looks like a solid piece.
Dude, I cannot believe the Clippers gave I Clippers fans talking trash on my guy Landry Shamet, okay? They
I
should have just
mean,
given him
they
back
they
to the
they
Sixers.
flipped
We would love him back.
they flipped Shamit for Luke Kennard, so it wasn't
Pretty much.
terrible.
I mean, Luke Kennard is better than Shamet, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But like a bunch of Clippers fans are like, man, I can't believe we got anything for Shamet. Like he was trash. I'm like, he was great as a rookie for the Sixers. He was looking like JJ Redick Jr. out there. So
Wasn't he part of the Tobias trade?
yeah, he was.
Uh,
But I like Shamet. I like him a lot. Hoping he
yeah,
comes back one day.
I can see the Nets being that kind of a low seed in the East because they might trade Dinwiddie and all them.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
thinking that their best idea is probably going to be trading some of those guys because I think they're very 26 or 2019 Celtics ish where they've got a
Yeah,
ton of guys who want the ball in their hands and they just don't have enough basketball. I was actually thinking, and
yeah,
I might do a video on this soon, because I'm planning to do a video on the Jazz. And if the Rudy Gobert situation, if they don't want to give him a max contract, I could see them actually trading him to like the Nets because they want that third star if they're not going to get James Harden. I bet you could get Rudy Gobert for the package you offered James Harden and like less picks. You give them like Jared Allen and Karis LeVert for the Jazz. I think that would be
yeah,
pretty solid.
yeah. It definitely would be.
Because they could
Because
really, I think
Jazz,
for me, the Nets, they really need some more defense on that team.
the Jazz are like a piece, probably like a piece or two away. I guess they have
Yeah,
they
because
they
the issue
re-signed
is,
Clarkson to a long-term deal. They got
mm-hmm,
Bogdanovich.
Bogey's nice.
Yeah, they kind of just need that like they need like a good wing.
Yeah, they really need something more. I think they would have been set last year if Mike Conley was what everyone expected him to be.
Yeah, he disappointed.
He really did because he was like a fringe all-star for years in the West, and then he just kind of fell off with the Jazz. But if he played the same as
And
he did on the Grizzlies, like,
your eight seed was the Hawks, right?
yeah, I got the Hawks making it over the Wizards.
Ah,
Yeah, I
Wizards are
just
gonna go 82-0.
82 and 0, and they'll still lose in the first round with Russell Westbrook.
The Wizards. I'm telling you, they're gonna be nice.
They're gonna go 82 and 0 in the 72 game season.
Yep.
All right, man. So what do you got? What's your eight playoffs?
It's basically the same, but I don't think the Pacers would make the playoffs because of the Oladipo thing, and I don't know. I just don't believe in the Pacers at all this year. They have a
I
new
can see.
coach.
Yeah,
Nobody knows who he is.
that's
I
true.
just don't know
I
if the
honestly, not gonna lie, I don't even know who their coach is. Like I have no idea.
yeah it was some like assistant coach.
hmm It was some like nobody though. It wasn't like a Knicks nurse type. Oh, he was actually the Raptors assistant coach, I believe.
Uh,
So that's pretty neat. All right. And then, so that's the East. For the Western Conference, let me ask you beforehand, do you think the Jazz are going to miss the playoffs? Because I've seen some people suggesting the Jazz could be like the ninth seed in the West and actually miss it.
I don't think they'll miss it, but I don't think they'll be like the. I think they were the sixth seed. I don't think they'll be a six seed. They'd probably be like a 8 or 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 7 or 8. They're pretty low. I don't remember
They didn't
exactly what
really.
my Western
Only
playoffs
thing
are,
only
but
person they added was Favors.
yeah, and that didn't even make a lot of sense to me because he didn't fit great when he played with Gobert before. Like that's the whole reason they let him go.
Yeah,
So it's kind of a
he's gonna come
weird
off the
pick.
bench anyways because Bogdanovich is gonna start.
Yeah, that's true. He's a good bench. He's a good bench piece. So I think I got the Suns making it in
I
the
don't
West
know
though.
the Suns. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Suns will make it. I think they might be higher than 7. Just depends.
I think I have them as my pick for the eighth seed. I'm trying to think who all I got in the West. I definitely got the Warriors in there next year, and I'm taking out the Thunder and the Rockets because I fully expect James Harden to get
Yeah,
traded during the season. That man, like, it's a superstar run league, and if he wants to be gone, I don't think they're gonna hold on to him for the whole year. I think they're gonna dump him because he's making it very clear he doesn't want to be there. Doesn't want to be there.
hold up.
Yeah, I think I had just like some big lag or something.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hold up.
All right, man. This is now the intermission part of this video. Need to get some like Jeopardy background music for this.
So what do you think? So what do you think Harden's gonna get traded to?
So where's Harden gonna get traded? I honestly think right now, I think he's going to the Heat.
Heat. You think they're gonna like they're willing to give up Hero?
I think they would. They've said they don't want to trade Hero, but I mean, come on. If you
I
had the option to get
yeah.
James Harden for
I just
Tyler
don't know how he
Hero,
would fit with that though.
I have seen stuff like that, and that's fair
That
to an
would take
extent.
away their chance completely of getting Giannis.
Well, I don't think they were going to get Giannis anyway. I think realistically, Giannis. I think they know
Well,
Giannis
at
isn't going to
least
go
takes
there.
him out of the like running.
Yeah, I think that's fine for them. because I never saw them as a prime destination for Giannis anyway. And even
You're
though
looking at
Giannis is a better player, Harden's definitely a better fit on that team.
on that team that, with Harden. You're looking at Dragic, Harden, Butler, maybe like Myers Leonard or Olenek and Adebayo.
hmm I
Like,
could see them even running kind of a small ball lineup where they got like Jimmy
yeah,
Butler at like power forward, and then they start
I
like
don't even
I don't
know
know
like
Duncan Robinson.
because Hero's not going to be enough. Yeah, you have to add something else with Hero.
Yeah, you got to add other pieces. So it would
Maybe
probably
like
be
a
something
Duncan
like
Robinson.
Hero, Robinson, some cap filler guys, and then I could even see them having to include Dragic in there for cap filler. Although I don't think the Rockets would really care about that because they got John Wall. So it's like
Yeah,
Hero, Robinson, cap filler dudes, and then like some like several picks. But I think they have better pick
they might have to add
options.
Iggy in there. Iggy's
I
on a
could see
big
that. That would
contract.
make sense just for cap filler. I really don't think Iggy's worth that much right now in his career. The dude's just old. Like he was great a few
Mhm.
years ago, but I mean, it seems like once players start declining, it goes pretty
You
fast.
think the Bucks have a chance to get him?
I really don't, because I've seen that, and I actually got into a debate with some dude on YouTube over that, and it was like, well, Middleton's better than Hero, so that makes sense, and it's like
It will
he's
be
a
like
better
Middleton,
player.
DiVincenzo, and a pick.
Yeah, it'd be like Middleton, DiVincenzo, and a pick. And like also you gotta remember the Bucks picks suck because they traded a bunch of their
Yeah.
picks already to the Pelicans. So it's not like
They
they have
traded
all their
two
picks
seconds
available.
and three firsts for
Yeah, so they don't have a
Holiday.
ton of firsts available, and even the ones they do, you want a Bucks like 2021 first round pick that's gonna be like the 29th pick in the draft. Like,
Yeah,
it's less valuable than pretty much any
they're
other
getting like a
team's picks.
solidified All Star out of it though. Like,
Yeah,
because
but
you
the
you
Rockets are
don't know what
rebuilding.
Hero's gonna be.
I really think the Rockets are rebuilding. So I think Hero would be much more valuable for them because he's younger than Middleton. I feel like Middleton, honestly, you put Middleton on that team instead of Harden, I think they might still make the playoffs if Wall really is decent and Boogie is decent.
Yeah,
But,
they both
what's
look
the point?
pretty solid.
Yeah, like it's a solid enough team, but like their first round exit, like I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're going to try
Yeah,
to rebuild.
they
I think they're going to flip
they
Wall for
have
more
like two
picks.
pieces on their entire team. They have
Yeah,
Christian
they're
Wood
really
and
old.
Daniel House.
hmm Yeah, I think they want to try to get young guys, get some picks, and do like a lighter version of what the Thunder are doing because I just don't see the point of them trying to keep making the playoffs right now with John Wall because their roster's super old too. They got like PJ Tucker's on there, he's in his mid 30s, Eric Gordon's in his 30s. Like they had like the oldest roster in the league last year, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah,
I just don't see what the point of trading for Middleton would be
like
for them.
in terms of like the best package you could get, the Warriors would 100% offer the best package for the Rockets.
I agree with
But
that. I could definitely see him going to the Warriors. I just don't. I honestly
I just
think
don't think the Warriors would do that.
I don't. I don't think they would do that. I think that they have really built a team of, and I mean the Heat have built a team that has a real sense of like hard workingness around it. Like they built a culture is the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for. But the Warriors have been doing it for a lot
they
longer.
were in a 9-man rotation the whole finals.
Yeah, like I could see the Warriors. I can't. I'm sorry. I should say I can't really see them trading Klay Thompson because they've won titles with him, and I think they value him too much to get rid of him, even if it's maybe the right basketball move to trade Klay for Harden,
Yeah,
because I think the package would look something like Klay Thompson and James Wiseman and a pick for James Harden, or maybe not even a pick, just Klay Thompson and James Wiseman straight up for
so you
James
think they
Harden.
would trade Clay?
I do not. I do not think the
Oh,
Warriors are going to trade for him. I think they could, and I think that's a great deal, but I don't
they have
think they would do Clay like that.
they have Minnesota's pick this year. It's top three protected.
Ooh.
They have Wiseman, Oubre, Wiggins, and Pascal. I
Do
don't
you
know.
think that'd be better? That would be a pretty nice trade. That would be pretty decent.
I don't think the Sixers would want to give up Embiid or
Nah,
Simmons.
they ain't. The Sixers have made it very clear. Morey and Doc Rivers have both been very clear. They want to see what Embiid and Simmons can do together this year with a team actually built around them, not trading
I mean, is
Simmons.
Simmons coming off an Achilles or ACL?
Simmons had like a back injury last year, but it was pretty minor.
It was a
He's fully
back
recovered.
injury.
Yeah, it was like a lower back injury. He missed a couple weeks, but it wasn't like a serious leg injury. He had a big
Well,
leg
did
injury in
did
his
he
rookie
miss the
year,
miss
but
the playoffs?
yeah, he missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't something like that. So I'm expecting a
The
big year from
Sixers
him.
are look. Sixers look like they have like a roster for like a playoff run.
Yeah, man, they're looking good. I'm very excited to see what they can do. I think if the Sixers bust this year, this is not necessarily championship or bust year, especially because like the Lakers are just so OP. But the Sixers need to look good this season, and if they don't, I think
Yeah.
next year is when you start thinking about trading one of your dudes. But at this point, like they've never had a good coach, and it was only Ben Simmons' rookie year was the only year they played together, and the roster was actually built around the two guys with shooters. So I think we need to see what it looks like
Yeah.
with a good roster around them this year.
Mhm.
So I think that would be pretty dumb to trade. I was telling somebody this is exactly how I feel about it anyway. Is you trade for Harden, you've got like 2 or 3 years. Maybe you want to be really generous. Say you've got like 5 years of contending with Embiid and Harden, right? If you trade Simmons for him. If you
I don't
keep
even
Ben
think that.
Simmons though, you've got like 10 years with Ben Simmons. So
I don't know. I think either Embiid or Simmons, if they don't at least make it to the conference finals in their current contract, I think they're gonna walk.
I could see that. Yeah, I don't see Embiid leaving. I could see Ben Simmons leaving though.
I mean, it's how long does Tobias still have? Does he have like 3, 4 years?
He has 3 years left. Simmons just got a max extension like
Yikes.
last season though, so he's under contract for like four
Yeah,
years. So
yeah. They have
I'm
Dwight
not too
and
worried.
Danny Green on expiring contracts.
Yeah, Danny Green, maybe he works out for us and he's great, and if he doesn't, he's only here for a year. So I
Yeah,
I I cannot believe Daryl
I
Morey
could
got
see him
us
getting clipped
Danny
at the
Green
deadline.
for frickin' Al Horford, man. What was that?
That was I could see Danny Green getting flipped at the deadline for like a Buddy Hield.
Yeah, I could see that. Or Zach, I've seen a lot of people talking about Zach LaVine. I think that would be if the Bulls end up sucking again this year and LaVine demands a trade. But
Mm.
I don't know how high his value would be. But if we could go after him, that would be really hype. But I'm looking forward to this season as a Sixers fan, man. I think it's gonna be good.
I think the Grizzlies are going to be the 8 seed in the West. Memphis.
So I would be okay. I think the thing with the Grizzlies is though, I'm pretty sure Jaren Jackson Jr. is supposed to miss the entire season because he tore his ACL or his Achilles or something at the end of last year. So if he was healthy, I might have considered them for that, but without, I mean, he's their second best player,
Oh,
and so
Morant's is like too. I don't think they missed the playoffs with Ja.
I don't. I mean, they missed the playoffs with him last year, and that was with Jaren Jackson Jr. So
Yeah,
I mean, he's definitely the
I
second
don't
best
know.
player on that team. He's real good, man.
They didn't really add anybody this offseason. Sounds like a
Yeah,
Desmond
that's what
Bain.
I'm saying. So they're basically the rest of the West
I
got
don't
better.
know.
I think the Grizzlies, John Morant's going to improve for another year, but
I
like
could see him. I mean, I think John Morant's going to be like an all-star starter.
all-star starter
I
in the
mean,
West?
What Trey did in his rookie year. I
Well,
mean,
first of all, that was the East,
second
and
year.
second of all, Trey Young did not deserve to be the starter for that in the East.
He was better than Kimba.
He was, but like the bet. Well, last year was
Kimba was
really weird
was a
for
starter.
guards because people don't like Ben Simmons. Kemba had a down year. Kyle Lowry's old, and Kyrie Irving was injured a lot. So it was a weird year for the Eastern Conference point
Well,
guards.
Kimba and Trey were starters.
Yeah, like Kemba got it because he got the votes because Celtics are a really big fan base. But like Trey, like talent wise, should not have started. But in the Western Conference, though, he's going to be competing with like Steph Curry. If James Harden's on the Rockets, he's going to be making it.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
know. I
saying?
just think John Morant is going to go crazy this year.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see John Morant. I just don't think I'm as high on him as you are because it's Steph Curry's going to start in for the All Stars. If All Stars are by positions, right? Steph Curry and Luka are going to be the two starters for guards. Like
Yeah.
you think Ja's going to get it over Steph or Luka?
I probably not, but
Yeah, like I could see him
I don't
being
know.
like like second round All Star. I don't know what you call it, like one of the first picks after the starters, but I just don't think,
Yeah.
especially because the Grizzlies are a pretty small market team
But so
too.
so
They don't
Jaren
exactly have
Jackson is
the.
like 100% out for the whole year.
Almost positive he is. I'm pretty sure he is set to miss the
I
entire
didn't even
season with
know
his
that.
injury. Yeah, because he missed
Crazy.
the play-in games with his injury. So
Oh, so it was like kind of similar to what Jonathan Isaac injury is.
yeah, man, I hope
All right.
Jonathan Isaac comes back fully healthy because he was looking to be like a really dang good player.
Yeah.
Magic need to
So
get it together, man.
in the West, I think it's gonna be like the Lakers, Clippers,
Mhm.
Nuggets, Mavericks, Blazers, uh, Warriors, Jazz, and Suns.
I think that's exactly the teams I have. Um, I think you have the Blazers. No, I might have the Blazers that high. I think I originally had the Jazz higher.
I have them as a 5 seed.
Yeah, I think making my original playoff prediction list, I had the Jazz as the 4 or the 5 seed, but looking back on it now, I could definitely see them falling down to like the 6th or 7th seed. But I have the same teams though. I got the Suns as the 8th seed. They're making it with Chris Paul, unless Chris Paul gets hurt and misses the whole season.
They also added Jay Crowder too. So
Jake Crowder's a great piece for them, man. They really improved this offseason.
and Chris Paul makes every center he's ever played with. Like he just puts him on a different level.
It's gonna be a big year for DeAndre Ayton.
Yep.
I'm excited for that. Hopefully his dumbass doesn't try to do any drugs in the off season and screw himself up again. Come on, man. You're like one of the most in shape people on the planet. You're sitting there taking steroids. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay. What team do you think is like championship bust this season?
Um, that's tough, man.
One team in the East and one in the West.
Championship or bust. I mean, the thing is, I think you can make. I would say the word is finals or bust, at least for the East, because I think with how stacked the Lakers are, if any team from the Eastern Conference loses to them in the finals, it's going to be completely
So
excusable.
so you think if the Bucks lose to Lakers in 7, Giannis walks?
Nah, I think the Bucks lose to the Lakers in the finals unless they get like swept. If they lose to them in like 5 or 6 or 7, then I think Giannis stays there. Like if they make the finals. I would say finals or bust though, it might be looking like that for Giannis. I was thinking he was going to stay, but after they screwed up the Bogdan trade, it's looking a little
Yeah.
sus. I'm a little worried for their team.
And I think the Clippers as championship or bust
Yeah, I would agree with that.
because Kawhi has a player option this year,
Mm-hmm. Now Kawhi,
and
if it was any other star, I would say 100% it's championship or bust for them. But just because Kawhi is such a strange dude, I wonder if he really would, because Paul George has already signed his extension. I wonder if
yeah,
Kawhi
I mean
legit
they
would.
they kind of had to resign Paul George because they gave up like
Yeah,
6 first-round picks for him.
God, I can't. Could you imagine, dude? Like 2 years ago, like during his MVP season, like he gets a max contract and everyone's just clowning the team for signing him a max contract. Like, what a
Yeah,
freaking fall from glory Paul George has had.
the Clippers would be in a bad spot. Let's say they get eliminated in the second round. Kawhi walks, and
Oh,
they
dude, if
all they
they
have is
lose,
Paul George, a bunch of veterans, and no picks.
if
That's gonna
they
be
lose
bad.
this year to a team that's not the Lakers, I
Yeah,
like,
because any other team, I think they're
wow,
like
like
projected to
it
beat.
would not be good. Like I think if they lose to the Lakers, you can make like Kawhi might stay. I could see Kawhi staying if they just lose to the Lakers. But if they were to lose to
They
like
just
the
have
Nuggets
so
again,
many like veterans.
yeah, they got a lot of older players, man, and like they didn't
They
really
have
get any
Blue
better this
Will,
offseason.
Ibaka.
I think Ibaka's better than Harrell, but he's also old. Like he's not a young future guy, you know, the dude's past his prime. So,
I think they'll make a trade that make them a lot better if they can just like swoop in, offer like a couple seconds for George Hill on the Thunder.
That would be hype.
Then
George, dude, I can't believe they didn't get a playmaker this offseason. Like they needed one
no,
thing.
there was none available.
Yeah,
Like
but like
the
they gotta
best
do
point guard on the
something,
market right
man.
now is Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. Has Reggie Jackson finally signed with someone? I was hoping he was gonna
Yeah,
sign
he
with the
re-signed with the
Sixers.
Clippers.
Oh, he did. He re-signed with them.
He,
Okay.
yeah, but
Yeah,
the
still he's
Clippers
not great
they
though.
added a little bit. They got Nicholas Batum, Luke Kennard, and Ibaka.
Luke Kennard's nice. I just like I don't know, man. It's gonna be really bad if Kawhi leaves for them. Sitting there making
Yeah,
they could honestly might
they
even
invested their future on Paul George.
mm-hmm. And then Paul George turned out to be pandemic P.
I think he's gonna have a rebound year though.
I could see that. I mean, in the regular season, he's usually good. He was fantastic in the regular season in 2019 until he got injured. But then it's
Yeah.
just like in the playoffs, the man just underperforms like every year since he's left Indiana. So I would say, yeah, championship or bust. If there's one team I had to call championship or bust for, I would say the Clippers. Yeah.
All right, who's the MVP favorite? You think
I think it's Giannis.
Giannis? Yeah, like I don't have a problem with that, but only thing like that's gonna like prevent that is like voter fatigue.
That's that's what everybody's saying, and I understand that. Okay, voter fatigue. I think if Giannis doesn't win it, it's going to be voter fatigue, pretty much. But the thing with Giannis is he's going to be the best. The Bucks are almost certainly going to be the one seed in the East. Like I really can't imagine them not
Yeah,
being the best team in
they're
the East, right?
amazing regular season team. It's just
Yeah.
like comes playoff time, they're just
hmm But Giannis won the MVP last year with the lowest number of minutes for any MVP in history. He only played 30 minutes a game.
yeah. Yesterday he dropped 25 and 10 in like 11 minutes or something like that.
Exactly, and he still averaged those ridiculous stats. So I think Giannis is going to improve slightly because he's improved every year so far, and he's still only like 26. And if he just plays like normal MVP minutes, like if he has some slight improvements like he's had over the last few years, each like between like his first MVP season and last MVP season, like slight that kind of slight improvements, and he plays
Yeah.
like 33, 34 minutes a game instead of 30. I think his stats are just going to be so ridiculous that they're going to have to give
The
it to
Bucks just
him.
don't have like a like a bench right now. They
Yeah,
benefit
they
like
I feel like they lost a little bit of bench depth this year. So I could see him playing closer to like 34 minutes this season. And I think
they
if he
gave up a
does,
lot to
it
get Holiday.
yeah, if he does, man, I just can't really see a way he doesn't win the MVP again. I think he could three-peat with it.
Like anyone else besides Giannis, you think has like a legitimate shot?
If I was to give my other shots, I would probably say the two main ones are Steph Curry and Luka. LeBron's up there too, but I
Yeah.
think he and AD
Okay.
are going to be taking each other's votes, Warriors style. I think if the Warriors or the Mavericks overachieve this year and they manage to get like the 2 or 3 seed in the West, then they've probably got the MVP locked up. But I just don't know if they can because Steph Curry, the Warriors just aren't going to be as good without Klay Thompson. And then the Mavericks, Porzingis is if Porzingis was healthy to start the season, I might say
Yeah,
Luca.
Porzingis is gonna not. He's not gonna come back till around like mid-January. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
and
big. It's
that's a
gonna be
big issue.
huge.
Like, so I think missing
People don't
Porzingis is going to
realize
hurt that
that.
team. So I think if Porzingis was healthy, I might give it to Luca, but just because he's not, I can't see them having enough wins. As amazing as Luca's going to be, and I'm sure he's going to be absolutely ridiculous, I can't quite see the Mavericks having enough wins to give him the MVP.
Their team is bad with like everyone besides Luca and KP.
Yeah, they're just not great. I really liked them trading Seth Curry for Josh Richardson. Before it happened, I was predicting it because I thought it was a good deal for both teams, and I still agree because I think they
Yeah,
really needed some defense on the perimeter, and Jay Rich gives that, and he can still shoot a little bit even if he's not Seth Curry. I like that move a
I
lot,
just th- I
but
just think they gained too many like young pieces this offseason instead of
yeah,
like veterans.
hmm yeah, I just still don't
They have
know. With KP out, I just don't think they're going to be good enough.
I think they have yeah they don't have like they have two people on their team over 30,
Yeah, that is
and
they are a really young
it's
team.
James Johnson and Boban. That's Like only people they have. That's like
Ooh, they do have Boban the Goat on their team. So,
they just don't
man,
really have any people with playoff experience.
yeah, they do not. So,
That's gonna be huge. That's what makes them 2 to 3 years away.
that's what I'm thinking. They need to develop a little bit more. And Porzingis just needs he's going to need to stay healthy, or they're going to have to like let him walk and sign somebody else if he keeps getting hurt.
I mean, they
Because
cleared up about 40 million for next offseason. So
they could honestly go after Giannis. Next year is going to be. I'm thinking next year is when they become legit contenders because they're going to sign someone. I don't
yeah,
know who. I don't know if
I
it's going to
mean,
be Giannis. I don't know who it's
let's
going to
say the
be.
Clippers mess up, they could go after Kawhi. Kawhi,
Kawhi and Luca is a terrifying thought. That's a
because besides
ridiculous
Kawhi, you're
combo.
looking at LeBron's the only person that could guard Luca.
Yeah, he's dang good. I think Ben Simmons would do a good job on him.
I'm talking about in the West, like in the
Oh
playoffs.
yeah, in the West specifically, yeah, and even LeBron, like he's getting older. He can only do it some nights. So for a full playoff
Wait,
series, he'd have to choose his
did you
minutes.
have the Pelicans in the playoffs?
I do not have the Pelicans in the playoffs. No,
Oh,
I'm interested to see what they do this season. But I mean, they lost. I would say they got worse replacing Drew Holiday with Eric
yeah,
Bledsoe.
they have Adams on a max contract right now.
I
Steven
can't believe
Adams.
they gave Adams that much. Look, I really like Steven Adams, like as a role playing center, but I can't believe they gave that man that much money. Like, why?
They still have Bledsoe.
Yeah, they have Bledsoe, who's trash in the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna make it. I don't understand with the Adams thing though. Don't they have a young rookie center who's like looking pretty good?
Yeah, Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, like he looked good last year for a rookie. Why are they signing Adams to so much money? Like, what are you doing? Doesn't make any
Uh,
sense to me. They do have Ingram and Zion. I'm curious to see what Zion does this year, but I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs now.
they just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, I think they're a little young right now.
Yeah, Zion's still 19, so
That's true. Yeah, man. He's got plenty of time to live up to those crazy expectations, as long as he can
uh,
avoid breaking his legs. All right. So
all
what do you
right.
think
What's
about the Nets, man?
the Nets?
Yeah. Do you think I should say? Do you think they are actual contenders? Because I do not. I think they're pretenders.
I think they gotta get all those young people out of there, like Dinwiddie, Levert, and
Mm-hmm.
Allen. I think they
Mm-hmm.
gotta let him go.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I think they got to
It's kind of
trade for
like
another
the
star.
when Kyrie was on the Celtics with like Tatum and Jalen Brown and all that.
Exactly. That's
Um,
exactly what I'm saying. I think they're just like the 2019 Celtics. So I think it's gonna
but I
blow
don't
up in
think
their face.
they should go after Harden. I think Harden would be a bad fit on that team.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Gobert's a really good target for them, just because he
There,
gives them a lot more defense. Because DeAndre Jordan, I've seen
they
Nets
gave Joe
fans.
Harrison a
Yeah, they
lot
gave
of
Joe
money.
Harris an extension. I've seen Nets fans tell me that DeAndre Jordan is like they're trying to convince me that he's like a really good player for them. I think Nets fans see DeAndre Jordan the same way Lakers fans see Kyle Kuzma, where like they think he's like this solid third best player on a team, and realistically they're just cheeks.
Yeah,
Like DeAndre Jordan's like 50 years old, man. He's not a good defender anymore, and he was never a good offensive player. So I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him at all. I think they're gonna blow up and lose in the
well
first or the
they
second
can't
round.
really do anything because nobody wants him. He's on a big contract.
Oh, they're definitely not getting rid of DeAndre Jordan. He's Kevin Durant
Yeah,
and
they
Kyrie
can't.
Irving's buddy. That's the whole reason they got him. And I think, Steve Nash, I think can be a good NBA coach, and I hope this doesn't ruin his chances because I don't think he's a tough enough personality to control
Yeah,
that team.
like I don't. I think like let's say Kyrie airballs, and I don't think Steve Nash takes him out of the game or something like that.
No. Or you sit there and you got, Kyrie or KD is having a bad night and they're taking too many shots. And Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert are like, yo, we got 5 shots this game and they both took 15, even though they're playing like doo-doo, what's going on? And then Kyrie goes and posts something cryptic about his teammates not performing, and Kevin Durant whines
I
about it on
mean,
Twitter.
They also got D'Antoni as their assistant coach.
I don't. This team's got no defense, and Mike D'Antoni's not going to help that. Neither is Steve Nash, really. He always played on teams that were
At
fast
least,
paced, no
it
defense.
at least brings like a traditional coach to the team.
That's true. That's true. I've actually seen something interesting with them. A lot of people have been talking about how Kevin Durant could be playing center for this team, and I haven't really heard anyone say whether that's good or bad. I think that's a bad sign that they're saying
Yeah,
that.
DeAndre Jordan would be terrible at any position besides
Yeah.
center.
Well, what I'm thinking more along the lines is if they're talking about that already, unless it's just because Mike D'Antoni's the coach, the only reason I could see you ever playing Kevin Durant as the center is because he's now too slow to be a perimeter player because of his Achilles injury. And so they're saying that like he can't keep up on the perimeter, so they're
Well,
going to play
he's
him as a
probably gonna
center.
play the four.
Yeah, like playing the four makes sense for him, but like if they're gonna try to play Kevin Durant at center, like the dude's gonna get pushed around by any real center in the league. Look how skinny he is. He's a stick.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in that team, man. I think they're gonna be really disappointing to Nets fans and everybody who believes in them. I think they're a first or second round exit. Second round at best.
Yeah, they just need some like a perimeter defenders.
Yeah, some more defense definitely. I think they gotta trade those young dudes for a star.
I don't know like a realistic person for them to get. Like
Yeah, I don't have a great solution for him, man. I think next year they could be looking like the Clippers, where they're just looking like this wannabe super team that's
I
just all of a
think
sudden doesn't look
they could
great.
just trade one of those young guys for like let's say they just offer Karis LeVert for DeMar DeRozan, and
Does DeMar
I feel like
DeRozan
that.
even help their team though?
Yeah, I think it does.
I mean, he's better than Karis LeVert, but like he's another bad defender and he can't shoot three-pointers and he's old. I mean, it's definitely their win now situation, but I just don't
Yeah, I
know
mean
how much like DeMar DeRozan
he
helps
knows
them.
how like the East works.
That's
He's
true.
been in the playoffs
I'd
a
make them a
lot.
little better. I just don't think he solves their problem because I think then that might even make it slightly worse the issue of them having too many guys who deserve to be to getting shots and just not enough
We just
basketball.
gotta see how Kyrie and KD play together
Yeah,
first.
maybe it'll come out. Maybe I'll be wrong and Kyrie Irving is secretly a great teammate and like all this stuff about him has just been overblown and he and KD and all the rest of them play
I think
together
Kyrie's
well.
gonna be the second option, but
Same, but it depends on how Kevin Durant comes back from injury too, because I don't think he's coming back as a top three player in the league. Like I've seen some people saying he could still be the
no.
best player,
It's not.
and like I don't believe
He'll
it.
probably want to be top 10, but he'll still like contribute on a different
Exactly.
level.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's nothing against everyone gets so offended when I say this. It's nothing against Kevin Durant. It's the fact that the Achilles injury is absolutely brutal and it takes out like 99% of all players who have ever had it. So when a 30-year-old Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, I don't expect him to fully recover. He's going to come back at best at like 85, 90%, which is still a really good player, but it's not like competing for the best player in the league anymore.
All right. What's your hot take of the season?
Well, that was kind of mine, really, that I had in mind was the Nets. I don't think they're contenders, and I think they're a second round exit at best. So that was
Second
pretty much what I
round.
had.
So you have them as the 6th seed, right?
I do, yes.
And who is the 3 seed?
I believe the Boston Celtics.
You think they beat the Celtics in the playoff
I
series?
really don't know. I
Mm.
don't think I don't think they beat them.
That would be like a really good series.
That would be a good series to watch, but I think the
Because
Celtics
like
have good defense to stop
it'll
them.
be like Tatum proving to Kyrie something, I guess.
Yeah, dude, that would be. I didn't even think about that. That'd be hilarious just from the Celtics fans' perspective, getting to watch them beat Kyrie Irving, because it seems like a lot of Celtics fans, from what I can see, are still pretty salty about him
Yeah,
leaving.
because I think they're the first one exit now that you're saying that because I don't think they can beat like the Sixers, the Celtics, the Heat
Honestly,
in that
they
first
don't,
round.
in my opinion, they don't have the defense to stop anybody. Their only like real like significantly above average defender on this whole roster is Jared Allen.
Yeah, and he's
So
been like every other trade talk. So
Yeah, so I don't, Kyrie, below average defender.
only like good team, kind of good team in the East. I could see them beating is the Heat if Butler takes a step back.
Yeah, even then though, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
still
could
wouldn't
I
like
could
count on it
theoretically
though.
see that. I think if they get James Harden, they're the clear final favorites though.
I don't I don't see how the Rockets would accept that. It would be like Hero and Robinson
I think
for.
it would be centered around like Hero and Robinson and then a whole lot of picks. And then cap filler guys, of course.
So
But
it'll be like kind of like the Paul George deal, how it was like Shea,
yeah,
Gallinari, and like a bunch
very
of
similar to
picks.
that. But
All
like
right.
that trio, Jimmy Butler, James Harden, and Bam Adebayo, that's a really good trio right there.
That's a lot of money too.
Yeah, and people have said that Harden doesn't fit perfectly with the Heat, which is true, but I think Eric Spoelstra is a fantastic coach who would make him work. And also, Jimmy Butler and James Harden wanted to play together before because Jimmy Butler wanted to be traded to the Rockets when he was in Minnesota.
I just think Jay Crowder's gonna be a huge loss for them.
Yeah, I think
Jay
he's going to
Crowder
be
was
decent, or a decent loss for them. He's going to be really good for the Suns. But or is he? Wait, is that the guy on the Suns or on the Jazz? I
he's
always
in the
mix him up with
Suns.
Derek Favors for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea why I mix them up all the time. But I still think they're going to be really good. But I
He,
probably have the
he was
Bucks
actually
making the
going to the
finals right now.
Mavericks before he signed with the Suns.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, Chris
Not
Paul
realize that.
recruited him to the Suns.
Interesting.
I wanted to see him on the Mavericks though.
That would have been hype. That would have been a good piece. I wouldn't worry too much about the Mavericks, though. They're going to be definitely one of the best teams in the West for the next decade. I think it's just next year they're going to get a big free agent,
They
and that's going to be that.
they kind of just effortlessly beat the Bucks last night.
I mean, they did, but like to be
I
fair,
get it, it's
preseason games mean
preseason, but
nothing.
all
Yeah,
those young players were like looking pretty solid.
they're looking good, man. It's I thought it was really funny last night. The only game I really paid attention to was that the Clippers lost to the Lakers, even though LeBron and AD both didn't play.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell had a good game, and so did Talon
Kyle
Horton
Kuzma
Tucker.
had like 18 points. Like it was hilarious, man.
Well,
Kawhi
Horton
Leonard had
Tucker
like
had
30.
like 20 and 11.
Yeah, like I don't even know who that is. There's no
Yeah, he
names
wasn't
just
in the
going off.
rotation at all in the playoffs.
Hilarious to me, man. Preseason's something else, though. I'm hyped for Sixers Celtic. Preseason games mean nothing unless it's your team who just beat another team, in which case they mean everything. It's pretty much how I view it.
I didn't think Cousins would be anything, but he looked like he looked like a solid player. He looked like a scrub.
He can be all right. I think Cousins could potentially get back to the point where he's very similar to
He's not even 30
Vucevic.
yet either.
Yeah, he's not that old. I think he could, if he gets back to it, he could be very similar to like Vucevic, where he's not a great defender, but he's still a very solid, like fringe all-star level center. Definitely a
Vucevic
good
is just like
piece.
a good player. He's just in a bad situation.
Yeah, the Magic, man, what are they doing? Trade this man. Trade this dude for some young guys and draft pieces
Well,
already.
they really
Give
can't.
Mo Bamba a chance.
He's on a max contract. He's like 30 years old.
I have no idea why they gave him that contract. They've got all these young
He had an
dudes on the
All Star
roster.
season.
Yeah, I mean, I
He
do
had an
know
All
why.
Star
It's
season a
because
couple
they
years
want to
ago.
keep making the playoffs because it's making them money. But it's just like
Well, they're not.
at some
They're not
point,
making the playoffs this year.
yeah, now they're not. I think they need to do a full rebuild this year. Trade all the older guys. Okay, they need to trade Vucevic. They need to trade who's the other guy? Is DJ Augustine? No, he went to the Bucks. They have Evan
The
Fournier.
Bucks.
Trade Vucevic. Trade Evan
All right.
Fournier. All right. Trade Terrence
What
Ross.
about
All three of
what
those
about
guys
Aaron
can get you
Gordon?
decent value.
What about Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon, I'd say if you see a good trade for him, trade him. But if not, he's only 26, so it's not a big deal. The thing with Aaron Gordon is I don't think he's ever going to become
He's not
anything
even
on the
20.
Magic at this point.
He's only 24 years old, but he's on a 4 year deal for
He's
like 20 million a
24.
season.
Damn. It
20,
feels like he's
20
been in the
million a
league
season.
forever.
Yeah, he was in the dunk contest like 4 years ago.
Yeah, man's crazy. But I think Aaron Gordon should want to be traded because I don't think he's ever going to become anything on the Magic. Like I think he's at his peak right
You think
now if he
Bamba
stays on the
or
Magic.
Markel Fultz are gonna be anything?
I think Fultz could be pretty good. I think Bamba I honestly have no clue. I have absolutely no idea what to think of Bamba.
Yeah, just because it's like there's a log jam in the center rotation.
Yeah, he never when he gets to play, he plays 10 minutes a game because he's behind Vucevic, and he spent half of his career injured so far. So I think it's unfair to a lot of people are calling him a bust already, and it's like the man's played like one season of basketball and he got like 10 minutes a game in that season. Like let's at least
I
see
just
what
don't
he
know
can
about
do.
Fultz.
Fultz, I'm interested to see. He's obviously never going to live up to the number one overall
To
pick,
the number
but
one pick.
I think he could be solid. And then they got Cole Anthony now, who could potentially be a star, like could potentially be the
Oh,
steal of
oh
the
yeah,
draft.
you're getting pointed.
And Jonathan Isaac's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year contender if he comes back as the same
Well,
player he was.
he's coming off like a ACL or something like that.
Yeah, it was a bad injury, but he's also young,
Yeah, that's true.
so I think you got a core of like Fultz, Anthony, Isaac, and Mo Bamba if he ends up being good. That's a great young core, and maybe throw Aaron Gordon in there if you want to keep him. Keep those guys, trade the veterans because you're not making the playoffs this year anyway. Just tank this season, get the number one overall pick, and then build around all your young dudes.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Did you do your what was your hot take? Did you say yours?
Ooh, I haven't yet. Uh,
You
my
do that,
my
and I
hot
think we'll
take.
finish up.
It's like two players that could maybe win the MVP,
All right.
or I think it's gonna have an amazing. I think Lillard's gonna have average like 35 this year,
Mm-hmm.
and
35.
yeah, I think he's gonna just
That's
he
ballsy.
has so much talent around him right now.
He's definitely got. He could if he wanted to. I would disagree with that just because with Nurkic coming back, he's going to be scoring more also because he's a pretty good offensive player. But go on. What was your other player?
Uh, and I think Jokic is gonna average a triple double.
I could see it, man. I could see it. I don't know if he's gonna do that just because 7 assists to 10 assists is kind of a big jump.
I
Like I could
mean,
see him doing that in like 2 or 3 years. But
so you know how like the Jamal Murray, like how he went amazing in the bubble, but before
yeah,
that,
he was he
he was like
was
a solid
nuclear.
player.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Hmm.
if Jamal Murray plays like he did in the bubble, and Michael Porter plays like takes a
Hmm.
step,
Because they're getting
I
Jokic's
don't know that.
passes.
Yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
I
That
can
makes
see that
sense.
team being really good.
I I can't say I would place money on him averaging a triple double, but I would not be surprised, is what I will say. I wouldn't be shocked if he averages one. I could definitely see it.
Only bad part, they lost more than they gained in the offseason.
Yeah, I think they're going to stay about the same level of talent because I think Jeremy Grant was a big loss for them, especially. But
I
I
mean,
think
you
just
couldn't really compete with it. The Pistons gave him like 20 million a year, so
yeah, for real. I don't know what the hell the Pistons are doing, man. But I think just because
I
they're
don't
going to
even want to trigger
improve
the
more.
Pistons fans.
Yeah, they're crazy, man. But I think they're going to improve a lot with Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray. Jokic is only like 25, I'm pretty sure, 25, 26, so he's not even really in his prime
Yeah.
yet. So I think they're still going to
Well,
be so good on
If Jamal
offense.
Murray plays bubble like he played in the bubble, then they're obviously going to be a better team.
Yeah, I think Jamal Murray could be an all-star this year. Or I think he will be an all-star this year.
What do you think Bobo will do this year?
I think he will be a very good backup center.
Center?
Yeah, I think he's going to play center.
I think
The
he's going to
man's
play
seven
small
foot
forward.
three, 7'4".
I think he's going to play small forward.
How are you gonna play Jamal Bol at small forward? Well, you can have Bol guard a small forward.
Yeah.
The man's 7'4".
So
You're crazy, man. I'd love to see it, but no. I think because you gotta keep. I think
they
he
started
has to guard
Jokic at
centers.
point guard. They started.
That was a joke game. That wasn't a real game. That was a bubble preseason
They
game.
won that game by 40.
I preseason means nothing. If they thought they could keep winning by 40 by running those lineups, they would have had Jokic keep playing point guard in the
Well,
bubble and in
no,
the
because
playoffs.
Jamal Murray was hurt that game, so
Yeah, exactly. They're not Bol's not going to play small forward. I think if anything, I could honestly see him doing some power forward next to Jokic, but like I don't think he's going to get big minutes like that. I think they're too tall, and the two of them just in the modern NBA, it's just not going to work.
Bobo was projected top 10 pick, and he just said to like 45.
Well, yeah, but that's because of injury. But like that's because he's projected to be a great center. He can shoot and he can shot block. So he's projected to be like a worse shooting, a worse offensively, better defensively Karl
Well,
Anthony
he's
Towns.
also 7'2". Let me see, 208 pounds. So
Yeah, the dude weighs nothing. Like you can't put that man on the perimeter. I think he's got to be in the post.
Jokic has 50 pounds on him, and he's
God knows
short.
Jokic needs to be in the post because he's too slow to guard anyone on the perimeter.
Jokic also like lost a lot of weight though.
Jokic lost weight, but like he's still a bad defender. Like we saw in the playoffs, the dude's still like bad on defense.
I mean, they were competing with the Lakers if it wasn't for that Plumlee terrible defense in
What
that
the?
game winner.
That drives me insane. The man ran into an invisible screen, and then that got voted by like the NBA YouTube. That
The
was
best
listed
play of
as
the
the
year.
best play of the year. What? It was just a wide open three. Like, yeah, it was a big shot, but like it was wide open. Mason Plumlee ran into nothing, and then starts yelling at
You think
Jokic to
there was
go
a
after his
chance that
man.
the Nuggets like won that series or no?
They don't win the series, but I mean, I think they win the game if Mason Plumlee just stays on his man. Like, I don't
If
think.
they win the game, that takes the series to 6. You
Yeah,
think
I
it
think it goes to
could have went to
six.
7?
I could see it going to seven. I don't see any way they win the series just because the Lakers were just ridiculous that year and they had no answer for
Wait,
LeBron
so
James.
who was your title favorite? It was the Lakers, right?
Oh yeah, it's the Lakers, I would say. Would you disagree with that?
So you think Lakers are just gonna steamroll everyone?
Steamroll is a strong word, but yeah, like I don't really even predict them to have a 7 game series to be honest.
I
I could
think
see a lot
Montrezl
of
Harrell's just gonna do terrible in the playoffs again.
He is, but when you've got LeBron and Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder is who I think is going to be their actual third best player next year. I mean, Dennis Schroeder is
Yeah,
better than anyone who was on that team
they had
last
the
year,
two six
outside
men of the
LeBron and
year,
AD.
the top two 6 men of the year candidates last year on
Yeah,
their team.
like they got significantly better this offseason.
But I think
So,
Montrezl Harrell won't. He'll contribute like a little bit more than what Dwight Howard did in the playoffs.
yeah, I could see because I think they got slightly worse on defense, but they got like a lot better on offense. So, I think they're
That
the
shoulder
clear
trade was
title favorites.
kind of good for them, but bad for the Thunder.
Yeah, I actually saw something. It was like a 4D chess move because Sam Presti wants the Lakers to beat the Clippers, so Kawhi leaves and their picks are worse. So the Thunder get better picks because they own all of the Clippers' purse.
Uh,
So it could be like him just like looking into the future and like, yeah, we're gonna make it easier for the Lakers to win, so we get better picks in 2024.
what do you think about the Hornets?
I think they're like the 10th seed. Like they're looking all right. I
10th,
think everyone's
10?
overhyping LaMelo after one game where he had
No,
zero
he had zero
points.
points yesterday.
The man had 0 points,
He
4 assists,
had
and four
0 points.
turnovers, and people are sitting there
Yeah,
talking about how he's like how amazing he is.
he threw
All
one
ESPN's
full
talked about
court
today.
pass, and people went crazy.
I mean, he had some nice passes. Don't get me wrong, but like they weren't even. It's not even like 4 assists and no turnovers. The man had 4 assists and 4 turnovers. That's not a good ratio.
I think the Thunder are the worst team in the league this year
I agree with that.
because I don't think they keep Horford. I think they're either gonna cut him or trade him for like the similar what the Andre Drummond deal was, a second and like Brandon Knight.
Maybe. I don't know if anybody else would even take that. I think he's gonna be. He could be. Yeah, I could see them doing that just because he could actually be decent playing the actual center position.
Yeah, because he's like one of the only people who could kind of guard Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he could anymore because he's old, but he
Yeah,
used to
not
be able
anymore,
to.
but he'll still be a pretty good defender on a
Yeah,
championship
as
team.
a playing center, I think he could still be a pretty
They
solid
have
player.
George Hill, who's 35, Ariza, 35. Yeah, it's not looking good.
Yeah, trade some vets for like second round picks or something if they play decent.
I don't I don't know what they're doing though. Like
Shea
they
might
have
be an all
picks
star.
they have picks in 2026 and all that. I don't see how that helps them like with Shea right now.
Well, they've got picks every year until 2026. They have like 18
Yeah, but
picks over the
like
next six
none of
years.
them are like projected top 10 except for their pick though.
I mean, at the end of the day, pick's a pick, you know? Like first round picks, if you've got good people who are good at drafting talent, then, you know,
I don't see them making the playoffs for like 5 years.
I think they're okay with not making it for 4 or 5 years, for the next 3 or 4 years. They're basically
Oh,
doing the process that Sam
so
Hinkie
you
did.
don't think they're in like 5 years? Shea will be 27, 26 in his prime. I don't know.
That's not that old. I mean, I don't think Shea is a future superstar anyway. I think he's a future all-star.
And
So
you think any free agents will sign with him because you think they're only going to have to add talent to the
not
draft?
next year. Um, Not next year. I could see them. Yeah, I mean, half a decade from now, who the heck knows? But I think they're pretty set for a good rebuild. Just that many picks, they just need to focus on drafting good players with potential.
Yeah.
Just need a couple draft steals. All right, man. I think we're about done for tonight because my throat is sore as hell. So, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we finish?
Mm, no.
All right, man. Well, that was pretty solid. This was a solid podcast. I enjoyed this. Hopefully, we'll be able to get another person or two on this next time. But, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Jacob. Appreciate it.
Yep. Peace out.
Wow, that was loud. All right. People who watched this video, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. We will be doing more of them in the future.